But what we are observing here is the market reacting for an asset at a price historically recognized for that asset. We are all waiting for a big move in XRP. There's no denying the fact that we are all waiting for that. Now you go look at different platforms to see like how the price is moving, what's the volume and how it is varying, and you see some difference, and volume is coming back into the market. And why do we see that? Why do you think like there is going to be a big move? Now, different writers, different articles will give you different narrative, but what we are looking at is what is happening in the macroeconomic situation. Because right now it's not the microeconomics, yes, it is important, but also the macro is important. You see different currencies which were strong are getting hammered. And I'm not talking about a little bit of hammering. There's a lot happening. When you look at this one for XRP markets, look at the bottom. XRP to Korean won, money coming from Korean won to XRP is kind of like 1.6%, and in Binance the BTC pair is like 2.2%. So you see there is a lot of money coming in from currencies which are collapsing. If you look at this, 40% devaluation in one currency, staying in one currency is not really good, and that can be one of the reason why the money is coming in. I'm not saying the entire guys who are having Korean won is selling that for XRP. I'm saying there will be multiple cryptocurrencies they are looking at, and it will be maybe 10% of the guys from that Korean won. And it's not just Korean won what you are looking at. There's a lot of fiat currencies who are getting hammered. The way dollar is strengthening shows you it's going to go into a bubble territory. A lot of people think it's a safe haven, which it is not, but that's going to give you more money coming in towards these currencies which are holding its ground or trying to move up. And when someone new is going to come into the market and they see Bitcoin down, Ether down, this one is up, then they actually literally go check what's happening with that asset. If it's me, I would do that, right? Common sense. And you see like, okay, there is something happening with this one. It seems like it can be the standard, or it can be one of that big guy in that economy, which is the crypto economy. And it can also get a big green light. The way Brad put this one is literally showing you like there is a huge possibility we get a settlement soon. Now, we don't know when it's going to happen, but inside this particular market, which we are discussing, we have a lot of different assets. Like some of these, we were looking at this. Now, yeah, you need patience even for small trades in this situation. It does take time. So if you are in the market and looking at different trading opportunities, you can consider the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. This is a scientific investor family where the normal common retail guys learn to become how to become the next top 10% in the world. We are looking at volatility in the market, and when the market is down, we are looking at this. Keep in mind that on a year you are still down, so you have a lot of upside. Buy low, sell high. It all makes common sense for everyone. Look at how much money is moving from USDT towards crypto exchanges. Money coming in. Then you go look at the volume. XRP is still retaining its volume. It was way below $1 billion right now after the correction, or while we are correcting. When the entire market is correcting, you still have more than that. Now, different platforms actually give you different ones. Say here on the coin market cap, you have like 3.4, right? So there is something happening. Volume is slowly increasing. When you use coin stats, you get like 6-7 billion in volume. So keep in mind, money is coming in from some way. And why is that happening? We all understand like there is something. When you listen to David Shaw's here, I'm like, okay, that's something you cannot deny. It's a fact. When that is a fact and this exists in the market, it kind of gives you a big narrative like, okay, this is all going to blast through. Because it's not only the way the case is evolving, it's the way how both parties are interacting right now. Ripple, the team, and SEC, the team, is trying to get to a conclusion from the judge and they are asking for something. But the way Brad actually explains this, I don't think like the judge don't understand this. Because if you have seen what the judge has asked to the SEC before, including the hypocrisy comment, you kind of know like, okay, where the judge stand with that thought process. So for me, it's clear that this is going positive for Xrp because we don't have any contract with Ripple. There is no investment contract and there is no two parties to have a contract with. Majority of the sales of this particular asset happens without Ripple. So there is no sense in saying that. Great. And we see like, okay, people are coming back in, new money is coming back into the market, especially for Xrp because they all think that this is going to happen and there is a huge possibility. But there will be guys who move to different assets, trying to take benefit of some moves, but always understand market is uncertain. Micro stuff cannot be calculated easily. You can go zoom in on a short-term chart. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it does not. But to get macro clarity, you zoom out and take a look at the daily, 3-day, weekly charts, which give you even better clarity. But right now, we are looking for our chart zoomed in structure to identify whether we are dropping, because this is going to be a trend line which you have to follow to see whether we are breaking lower, because the previous structure here looks like this. You actually broke that higher. Maybe the possibility is that you can come back, retest and bounce. But if you break that, now I would argue that the previous level of resistance here, 0.4, 0.42, can be the support. Because the way we have reacted as we talked yesterday, this support was the previous resistance. And again, this support happens to be the previous resistance here and the support. So if that plays out well, this is actually a good story on a macro stuff. When you go look at this, you are like, okay, that really looks great. For anyone who want to buy the dip, anyone who missed that, this can be a literal retest and bounce possibility where you go up, you come back lower, you bounce. So once you get this, that's where you can say the trend is now changing completely. You are getting a higher high on a macro chart. So when you go on a daily chart, you can say like, okay, something is starting, but we have not yet made a higher high from this level. So we need to actually go above that or create another high here. So that's a higher high. So one thing is like the price is slowing down here. The price was actually in an accumulation range and the RSI showed you what is coming ahead. Now take the same dynamics, go into the long-term charts and look like what the RSI is suggesting you, because if it is me, you or any common human being looking at this, we can easily say like this is happening. Okay, great. That's with the USD pair of it. Great. Now we just see that in the market, it's not just the USD pair. You go down, you look at the XRP markets and you see like, okay, it's USDT, it's Binance USD, it's Bitcoin, it's different fiat currencies. Great. We understand that. Fine. If you want to factor all of that, and that's why we use this. You look at BTC pair, you look at Ether pair, you get the picture. And then you come to the XRP dominance where you kind of look at this like, okay, yeah, XRP dominance kind of takes all of those factors into account and then delivers this idea here. So for me, when I'm saying this, yes, it's easy to identify a trend here, and that trend is breaking higher where you get something here, which is big, which is massive. So I still hold on to this line. Okay, this for me means XRP is going to blow off through the roof. Fine. So what does that actually mean in the USD terms? You literally know like, okay, we are not looking for $1,000 XRP right now. We're not even looking for $100 XRP. What we are looking first as the first move here is like around 200%. Fine. That's not huge. That still delivers you something close to the previous high. Now, this is a channel where we are correcting in, and the pole for that one looks something like this. So that's a 10-11x. So now you put in that factor here as 11x, say 10x, let's put that way, $6. Great. So that's next exit. So one, you're looking for the entry or exit here. If you want to buy at the highs, you can buy always here. You can buy it from those guys who are taking profits. Great. Then you're looking for something like this. Fine. Now, what can be the probable high of this cycle? A lot of people ask like, how high can this go? Now, on a pattern basis, you look at this and say like, okay, there is a 15x possibility after the break, and that takes the price all the way up to say 15x. So we come close to $25, $26 per XRP. So here, what you are looking at is a consolidative correction here. After the rounded bottom, you went here, you did this structure, so you got it. Fine. Do we have anything similar historically? You can actually go look at different, this Korean won, it's just getting hammered. Leave that, go into the dollar territory and look at what the dollar is doing. This gives you an idea of how you can identify patterns from the history in different assets and get a picture of what's coming in. This is a rounded bottom, which is easy for everyone, right? And then you got a long term of reaccumulation after the break of this accumulation. Now the accumulation happened in the rounded bottom, great. Now you're breaking higher and you're going up. What is your measured move there? If it's me, first conservative is this, optimistic is this. So now when you're breaking through here, the first one conservative 20, you are closing into that one. Second, if you're optimistic, you are looking for 40. So that's some way close here. Great. Now that's in dollar terms. Now we come back to crypto to see that. Say you go into the constellation DAG. You go onto the USD chart of that and you see this pattern evolving. You have a rounded bottom, which is the accumulation. Then you go into a reaccumulation after breaking that one and then break higher. So take this into account. You actually did like 22x in the measured move and you completed around 20x of that. So 90% of that is done. So arguably 80% of that would be possible in different assets as well. So now if you are in this asset, XRP, now you can argue that, okay, maybe it's not $26, maybe it can be 20, but where are we right now? We're at 0.5. So imagine you are saying, okay, I'm just taking conservative approach. I'm saying it's only 20 or 18, whatever you want to pick. That still is a 40x from the current price. A lot of us have our average way below the current price. So if your average is here 0.3, you get 60x. If your average is here 0.2, you get 80x. So that's one of the biggest reasons why we always say average down whenever you have a possibility to do so. If you're averaging up, that's a different story. Your profit increases, but your ROI decreases. Great. Now, taking that into account and looking at the XRP dominance, and then looking at the altcoin dominance, understand the factor that now XRP is going to play a big role here. The dominance here is playing out like it's trying to break out, but it has not gathered that momentum to the upside. It is still slow. The market itself is slow, and you're getting a positive cross in the MACD in the positive territory. That for me is actually bullish because whenever you try to do that, you get a move up. Here, the difference is you're above this range of previous trading, which gives you a higher ability to say that the price is going to go higher. Now, at this moment, you're looking at the XRP BTC pair, and arguably you have a little bit more downside. Now, that's on a short term. So you go look at the macro a little bit and you say like, okay, we broke through a couple of resistance. So where is going to be our next support? Here, the price hit this level of resistance. And what we are going to look at here is that from this resistance, you can literally drop another 20%. So take that into account for the XRP USD pair. Go on to a 4-hour chart and see like if we drop 20%, where would it actually take us? So in XRP USD terms, that would completely take us close to 0.4. Now that 0.4 aligns somewhere with the previous level of resistance. So that turned in as a support here, and then a bounce would be healthy. Great, we agree on that point. There is no conflict there. But what a lot of people did not think about is the altcoin market as a whole, right? We have seen altcoin market trending, and this goes from a long year. We were like in a one-on-one session, I was actually discussing this. Now you go into the stock market and you look at different assets and you also see them trending like this. So if that's hitting a bottom and it is bouncing, and the lows are here, it's extended to the downside, so your upside potential increases. Unless you break this trend and go downside, that's an entirely different story. But right now, when you are there and your RSI is so oversold and getting back from there, you definitely have a possibility to go much higher. Now you can easily plot a trend line here and say, okay, yes, we can be bullish, but we need to break higher. We have a positive pattern. A positive pattern at a support level is usually bullish, but yes, we need to move above the 20-day moving average. So you go on a daily and ask this question, where are we? We are below that. We need to bounce higher. And that is when you go into the XRP USD pair and ask, where are you? Right now, you're way above the 20-day moving average. You really want to come test that and bounce. Whereas, as you zoom out one by one, you get the same narrative like, okay, this is literally happening. You are breaking through this. Fine. Then you go on a monthly and you're like, okay, that's where we are eyeing as a target, 0.7. You go slow down that range or break through that range, gives you a huge idea of where we are headed. But right now, when the price is already reaching these levels, you are more aligned or focused about the short-term scenario because that's how the market actually works. When we break through 0.7, there's going to be a lot of guys who are going to return into this market because they sold out and moved out, thinking that this asset is done here or it is going much, much lower, maybe 0.2, maybe 0.3. But psychologically, my question would be this. If this is dropping from here, great. If it's coming to 0.4, will you buy? If it's coming all the way back down to 0.3, will you buy or will you say, I'm going to wait all the way back down to 0.2? Because if you watched what we were talking about, this range is a historically long-term support resistance zone for XRP. Take this into consideration, guys. This is like, 2000 days of support resistance zone. It comes there, it bounces, it goes there, it gets resisted. You break that, now that's a support. So bouncing from there as a big support with a macro pattern of double bottom reversal is super bullish. I don't know what else can be bullish on for XRP at this point being technical without saying, okay, I neglect that. If you neglect that, now, I don't know, as a technical guy, if you're neglecting a weekly double bottom and bounce from a strong support, it's now, and I'm not talking to you. But what we are observing here is the market reacting for an asset at a price historically recognized for that asset, close to 0.3. I still remember a lot of people having a hard time holding on to XRP during this time because that was not a short duration. We were trying that level again and again and again for a long time, 400, 500 days. And right now, imagine from the top, right now, we are on 530 days. So it's something like that, right? And when you bounce, it's really hard to see the prices way below what you wanted it to be and all. But when you bounce like this on a weekly with a long shaped candle, expect the price to continue. Now, if you're saying there is a world war tomorrow, central banks are going to ban the exchanges, okay, that's an entirely different story. Keep in mind supply and demand. If the supply is there and the demand is coming, it's great. If the supply is not increasing, which is a good thing for XRP, and demand is increasing in the market, that's really what we want to see. And understand the money is coming into the market and money is moving out of stuff like these. You see Ether moving to crypto exchanges. You see Ether moving to Fiat exchanges. People are running out of this one. I don't know why. You can guess why that is. And then you come on to look at the Bitcoin. And you see like, okay, this is largest 1 week decrease. And that's long-term holders capitulating kind of stuff, right? Those who held for 52 weeks are now reducing. And now you'll ask the question, okay, are they going to Fiat or are they going to different crypto? Here, 22,000 Bitcoin actually went to Fiat exchanges. That's not small, but 70,000 of them went to crypto exchanges. So when you are moving out of one asset for another, big question is, are you selecting another asset which is not moving? Or are you going to select another asset which has a lot of volume and which is moving? That's not XRP. It can be XRP, it can be Algo, it can be, Quant, Stellar, and a lot of others which are moving up and which has volume. So XRP is still one of the great candidates in that class to get more money coming in. So that's one of the reasons why we get more volume. And, staying above 3 billion is not a small thing. We were way below 1 billion for a long time. Now that's tripled. We went to 4.5. That's a different story. But right now in the market, focus on assets and having a proper balance of your portfolio. If you have 100% risky asset, follow your actual strategy. Don't jump around. If you have 100% fundamental assets, follow your strategy. Don't try to follow someone else. If your risk tolerance is this, don't jump on that line. Because if you do and the price consolidates longer than you can hold on to, now you're going to capitulate. So you don't want that to happen. So make sure if my risk tolerance is this, I manage it that way. Maybe I have 50% fundamental, 50% risk assets. Maybe 70% fundamentals, 30% risk assets. Understand your risk tolerance and your liquidity and balance your portfolio in a way when we are starting the next big run up. Historically speaking, whenever XRP goes up, we also see the market in general going up. But I'm not saying 20,000 assets in this market class is going to go up. Maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's 2,000, who knows? But there is a huge possibility it's going to bounce off from a long-term trend line we just talked about. So historically, if this is a support and you say, okay, this is going to happen, take your choice. You can move out of the market, or you can double down, or you can just hold on. So if you're holding on, that's great. If you're trying to look for better assets, you are looking for more info for these assets, look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. We post regularly with weekly asset knowledge sheets, looking through different assets, 30, 35 of them, sometimes 25, 35, but looking through next 7 days to 10 days, what can they do? Is it a buy? Is it a sell? Is it wait or don't touch? You know, that kind of idea actually helps, and it is working in one way or the other, right? You stay away from that, the market drops. You are in another asset where you think it's going to hold on, and that holds on. So guys, that's it for today. And if you like the video, please do hit that like and subscribe button. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye-bye.